Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about, could the price of the Grayscale Litecoin Trust really do 100x? The ticker symbol is LTCN. Let's get it. So the first thing I want to show you guys here is that we have added a substantial amount of money to our LTCN position. You guys can see we currently have 37.30. Our average cost basis is about $5.50 a share. Pretty much what we're looking for is at a minimum, I would say at a very absolute minimum, 50 to 60x. I would say a 75x to 100x is still possible. In terms of the Grayscale Bitcoin ETFs, or not Grayscale Bitcoin ETFs, these spot Bitcoin ETFs, if one or multiple of those get approved sometime within, I would say, the next 2 to 4 months, would probably be realistic, because if it happens right before the halving, that would make perfect sense, because that would be a major catalyst to send Bitcoin and altcoins to all-time highs. Those kinds of things usually play out for major. You usually have like some kind of macro event that kind of forms a top or a bottom in crypto. That's usually how it goes. So if those get approved, I mean, we could be taking a look at anything from 100 to maybe a 200x. I mean, there's really no telling how high LTCN could go. It could be just really just unbelievable. So, but that's one thing that I learned on the last crypto cycle is it's easy to underestimate the power of the exponential moves in crypto. It's very easy to do so. It's very easy to be like, oh yeah, this or that altcoin's only going to do like a 3 or 5x, and it ends up doing like a 10, 20, 30, 50x. And you're just like, what the heck? Like, you didn't think it was going to do that much. It's very easy to do that in crypto. So, um, so basically our goal here is to have between, I would say, a minimum of 4 to 5K in this position. We don't really want to get our cost basis above $6. There's a reason for that, and we'll show you guys that on the charts here in a minute. But you can see we're $474 in the money on this and 132 on BCHG. We haven't bought any BCHG. Main reason why is because we want to get LTCN to our benchmark first. We could take profit off the table right now if we wanted to. And I mean, we could just pull all our money out, sit in cash, or invest in dividend paying stocks, but we're not going to do that because this is more of a position trade / investment. What do I mean by position trade? Well, I'm going to show you guys here on the charts. So there are some people that do day trading, which is they buy and sell positions within a single trading session. Okay, swing trading is basically holding overnight or anything from 2 days up to maybe like a few months or something like that. That's considered to be swing trading. But position trading is something entirely different. So a position trade could technically be considered to be a swing trade, but it kind of depends on the time frame. So position trade would basically be like, if I'm looking at the price of Litecoin and I see, okay, it's been sitting, it basically bounces heavily between roughly about 40 to 50 bucks. So to get a nice even price here, basically what I would want to do for a position trade is I'll take a large bulk of money. I'll pretty much buy the entire amount I'm going to buy at $45, and then I'll sit and wait for it to go up to one of these previous resistance areas. Like you can see here, if we pull this resistance area back a little bit, you can see that it was actually a bounce point in the in between the two peaks on Litecoin here and basically Bitcoin. You can see that it was a major bounce point here, and we kind of tested it as support here a little bit. Now it was being tested as resistance in this area. Because it was tested so many times, basically I'd be looking to get in here and then sell up here. Like a basically big bulk buy and sell. That's pretty much what a position trade is. So our LTCM position is basically a position trade / swing trade, or not swing trade. I mean, investment is pretty much what it is. We're not intending to sell for probably, I would say, at least until Bitcoin gets pretty close to its highs. And we think that might be like 10 months to 12 months from now, or not 10 months, 12 to 14 months from now. So we'll take a look at Litecoin here. As you guys can see, we have had a MACD golden cross here on the weekly. This is a pretty strong indication that Litecoin is going to move up further. And as you can see, we have had a green bar above the zero line on the histogram. So what I want to point out to you guys is the previous times this has happened. Okay, the MACD is a pretty strong indicator on the weekly. You guys can see that we had one here in July of 2022. What did we do from that point? We went from about $50 up to $110. So you got about a 2x move. We're going to go back even further. You guys can see another one happened here. I got to kind of zoom in here so you guys can actually see it. So we had kind of like this fake out here. So we had like a golden cross, a death cross, and another golden cross. But basically, when you had this golden cross here, wasn't exactly perfect. It probably would have been best at this point to use it in confluence with support and resistance. But so this golden cross, basically you went from 165 to roughly about $230. So that's still not bad. That's a 33% return. The average stock market S&P 500 return on a yearly basis is like 8 or 9%. So 33% is actually really good. And then this one, as you guys can see here, we did close above the EMA golden cross and also had a MACD cross. So that's basically double bullish confirmation. We went from 185 to about $300. So about another 33% return. Now, the big one that I want to point out to you guys here is this one. So I really got to zoom in here, but you guys can see that we had one right here. And what did we do? We went from $49 to basically around $400. So we had roughly about an 8x. So you guys can see just how powerful this MACD move is. So we're going to go all the way back here. Now we will take a look at LTCN. So one thing I want to point out to you guys is LTCN is not really that old, so it doesn't have a lot of data and history on it. You guys can see that the first candle pretty much printed here back in August of 2020, so it was right before the bull run took place. But we can see the peak is basically somewhere between $450 to $500. Why are we saying a 50 to 60x is kind of our realistic goal to start taking profit? Well, that's because a 60x from $5. Well, let's do the math here. So we'll say 550 times a 60x, taking a look at about $330. As you guys can see, pretty much almost every single week during the bull market, when Bitcoin was pushing all-time highs and the rest of the crypto market was, we had candles that were in that price range pretty much the entire bull market. Okay, you can see all these candles here that are touching this 330 zone. So kind of the goal here is basically to start taking some of the money off the table once it gets to those levels. I would say we'll probably take at least a third, if not half of our position off at those points. Again, keep in mind we only have, or the Grayscale Litecoin Trust is only one of roughly about a dozen to 15 positions that we have in crypto. Albeit it's a relatively large position, but we do have other positions that are in the four figures, so it's not like this is the only one. And then we'll probably just scale up the rest as it moves up, I mean, even at $380 to $400, you had several weeks here that it was at that price. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks that it was above $400. So that's plenty of time to get out at $400. You get basically a whole 25 trading days to do so. And this is not a day trade, so you don't have to worry about getting in and out on the 3-minute or the 5-minute or the 15-minute time frame. Is a 100x possible? Absolutely. But see, the thing about the 100x is in order for you to make 100x, you basically would have had to buy pretty much below $5 for that to be realistic. Yeah, I would say below $5. So basically you would have had to be buying pretty much right in this area between like $2 up to maybe $4 or so. Now I'm gonna have to zoom out on this MACD because it's kind of, the price compared to the highs has kind of been really flat lately. But as you guys can see, we went from like green, green, green. So we're pretty much going down, 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 down. You guys see these light green bars? This basically means like weakening momentum to the downside. And then we turn red, and then we went green again, turn red, and now we're going green again. So you can see that the MACD is consistently this whole time holding above the 0 level, and the price is slowly moving up. That's a very bullish indication. And again, the RSI is above 50. So the thing that we're basically looking for here is a breakout above, I would say, these candle wicks here. If we get something like that, we're pretty much, I would say we're pretty much going to stop buying LTCN at that point, because the premium is getting a little expensive, and we already have a pretty large position. Again, we don't want to get this above $6, but in order to get the 100x, you basically would have to buy pretty much between $2 to, I would say, maybe $5 at a maximum. We're not currently sitting at that price, so if you're willing to be patient, if it's something you're interested in, and you're able to get this below $5, I would say 100x is absolutely possible. But we're not really expecting the LTCN Trust to hit highs until Bitcoin's hitting its highs. So Bitcoin is really the thing that we got to be watching here. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. This is, again, is it possible for Grayscale Litecoin Trust to do 100x? Yes, it is. It depends on when you buy in comparison to the previous highs. You basically, if you get it between $2 to $5 and it goes to $500, well, there's your 100x right there. The Bitcoin spot ETFs could change everything. Let's say 5 or 10 trillion flows into Bitcoin and altcoins just from that alone, not including everybody that FOMOs in at the top, like most retail traders do. Then maybe 100 to 150 to a 200x is possible in LTC, and it's hard to say. Price discovery is very hard to predict. Let's just put it like that. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed the content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.